He values other people yet enjoys being by himself. The importance of one's solitude to a Sigma man is one of the first things that people will notice about them. Sigma males can switch on their charisma and charm whenever appropriate, but they never feel more at ease than when they're alone themselves. They are introverts who value their alone time and space to reflect and unwind because social interaction drains their energy, regardless of how much the other person may mean to them. Having said that, Sigma guys nevertheless recognize the value of having dependable individuals in their lives since they are aware that they cannot achieve all of their objectives alone. This means that dating a Sigma man might be challenging, especially for women who are accustomed to adoring, obsessive guys. Because these partnerships might become too emotionally and psychologically taxing for a typical guy, they work best with women who don't need to be with their partners all the time. He leads in silence. What image of the traditional leader comes to mind? Someone who is always on the top level, making executive decisions, someone who is on the front lines, always surrounded by officials or subordinates. An intimidating, loud-speaking alpha male who always appears huge and strong and doesn't look like someone you would ever want to mess with. However, Sigma guys have their style of leadership and are equally as skilled as alpha males in that regard. You can rely on Sigma men to take care of business. They possess the ideal balance of independence, introspection, and intelligence to solve any issue and transform inefficiency into effectiveness. On your team, you should always have a Sigma man. You gain the assurance and charisma of an alpha guy without any of the drawbacks associated with someone who has a big, fragile ego and needs continual affirmation. A Sigma male will never quit regardless of the obstacle or inconvenience. Instead, he will keep working at something until he finds a way around it. They are the types who aren't afraid to go do what needs to be done, even if it's unbecoming of a leader, because their utmost priority is the goal, not their image. He is capable of adapting to various circumstances. Although alpha males can seize control of a social group or a circumstance and establish themselves as the leader, this isn't always attainable or recommended. Alpha males often transform into a weaker version of themselves when they don't receive the respect or power they believe they are entitled. A Sigma male has an advantage in that situation. A Sigma guy can be in control if necessary, but they don't always need the approval that comes with being the leader in terms of social dynamics and power relationships. They are willing to play whatever role is required of them at any given time, making them more adaptable and fluid than alpha males and more likely to succeed in any circumstance. A Sigma guy can be either a follower or a leader, or any position in between, with no self-imposed expectations or pressures, as long as they are aware that their efforts are being used effectively and successfully. The problem with this, however, is that this can sometimes rub other people the wrong way. The unabashed confidence and freedom to play any part can come off as arrogance, intimidating those around the Sigma male. He treats everyone around him the same way. So much of our daily life is built off social hierarchies, and it's something that we're first exposed to as early as school. Most of us end up knowing who the popular kids are, and how we should act around them, and how we should act around the non-popular kids, and those habits, behaviors, and social structures follow us to adulthood. The power dynamics, which are unseen and meaningless and are based only on an unearned social rank, are intolerable to Sigma men. They vehemently disagree with the idea that you should treat one person one way and another person another way just because there are some unspoken laws governing what kind of person he or she might be. Therefore, unlike the majority of us, a Sigma male is more than willing to treat everyone around them equally. This is one of the reasons they make amazing leaders. They don't limit the voices in the room to just the people who've yes-manned their way to the top. They see value and intelligence wherever it may be, and other people don't intimidate them because they aren't competing with them. To be himself, he doesn't require a social group. Alpha guys typically require structure since their personalities center around how other people reflect them. They enjoy having control over and manipulating others, for good or for bad. Their personality is frequently constructed on the approval of those around them. They struggle to imagine themselves outside of their current social networks. Sigma males are made differently. While they aren't afraid of being a part of social circles, they don't drown themselves in social obligations and commitments the way alpha males do. They have the security of knowing that their personality exists fully outside of the bonds of other people. They don't follow trends, they often don't know what's going on in the world of celebrity gossip, and they can't stand the idea of being popular, let alone a social media influencer. He is the same person no matter what social context he may be in, and that makes him easier to deal with than most people. If you understand who he is, then you never need to relearn his personality again. He'll never let anyone or anything around him change him. He is aware of how crucial silence is. Men in the Sigma social group rarely speak. A lot of the time, you won't catch them chatting and gossiping endlessly about unimportant details of their daily life. And the reason for this is twofold. First, they don't give a damn about little matters that might not matter in a day. Second, they appreciate the worth of safeguarding their energy, which is one of the few things that matter more to a Sigma man than anything else. But just because they tend to be quiet types doesn't mean they let themselves get pushed around. While alpha males can be described as dominant extroverts, Sigma males are best described as dominant introverts. They command the room by simply walking into it, with their presence and their aura, whereas an alpha male might command the room with their voice or actions. When dealing with a Sigma male, it's crucial to give him the quiet time he needs. Most people don't understand that silence between two people doesn't necessarily mean there's no vibe or connection, and being the person who can give a Sigma man the silence they need without being awkward about it is an easy way to make yourself a pillar in their life. He lacks morality, or worse. Sigma guys aren't always the most admirable individuals, but as they would say, everything is relative. The ability of Sigma males gives them a force to be reckoned with in terms of the status quo. They can be cynical and jaded, or they can be indignant protectors of what they feel to be right or wrong. The morally dubious place is where most Sigma males ultimately land. They typically have the self-awareness and intelligence to see when some elements of the system fail to make sense, therefore they don't demand the full respect that society usually accords them. They are more inclined to use their abilities to upset the status quo since they can recognize the flaws in social structures and don't always understand why we should look up to them. Sigma guys need to comprehend the reasoning for everything they do and support, even though this does not imply that they are horrible individuals. If they don't, it will be difficult for them to exert effort into accomplishing something that to them seems foolish. He detests leading a secure existence. The Sigma male takes risks without fear. That doesn't mean he always disregards rules or behaves carelessly. Unlike outright rebels, Sigma guys don't mind occasionally breaking the law or taking calculated risks if it benefits them personally. He doesn't do this to demonstrate his power or gain people's respect, unless that's his intention, but rather to advance his goals. Each risk serves a function. Sigma guys are exceptionally effective leaders and partners precisely because they strike the perfect mix between realism and idealism. They understand the best possible scenario and produce situations that may not be as perfect but are better suited and more probable for a given situation. You'll often find Sigma males on top of the food chain in whichever situation they're in. They have complex personalities and hate being fitted into one box. As a result, you'll find that the Sigma male in your life is rarely an archetype. They excel as athletes, entrepreneurs, intellectuals, and creatives just because they're capable of broadening their horizons and adapting to excel in any environment. He detests leading a secure existence. The Sigma male takes risks without fear. That doesn't mean he always disregards rules or behaves carelessly. Unlike outright rebels, Sigma guys don't mind occasionally breaking the law or taking calculated risks if it benefits them personally. He doesn't do this to demonstrate his power or gain people's respect, unless that's his intention, but rather to advance his goals. Each risk serves a function. Sigma guys are exceptionally effective leaders and partners precisely because they strike the perfect mix between realism and idealism. Small talk, which is a foundational skill for a lot of people, is boring to a Sigma male. He doesn't feel the need to talk himself up to other people or please a stranger he'd never talk to again. You won't find the Sigma male standing in front of everybody cracking jokes or revving up everyone's mood. He'll often be at a corner speaking to someone he finds worthy of his time and intelligence. Or to no one at all. This nonchalance for social formalities manifests in different ways. Simple things like showing up in the proper dress code, replying to texts promptly, or participating in meaningless niceties and other faux pas might be unknowingly committed by the Sigma male in your life because he's just not interested in empty socialization and unnecessary structures. He's incredibly self-aware. Introspection is one of the primary traits of a Sigma male. As opposed to an alpha male who projects himself outward for everyone to see, the Sigma male focuses on himself and how his actions impact his entire being. Sigma males know themselves extremely well. They know their strengths and are actively working towards improving the weaknesses they think matter. Instead of spending his time surrounding himself with people, you'll often find the Sigma male in his bubble analyzing what he could have done better. Even without the best social graces, they still manage to avoid drama because they know how to handle social situations and understand how to come across as likable. As someone who lives their entire lives in their heads and doesn't seek out validation, they'll surely appreciate it when someone finally notices the very special things about them. As introspective as they may be, Sigma males are still human like the rest of us and may get into trouble from time to time. They'll be able to quickly correct any errors in judgment they made and use setbacks as stepping stones for improvement. He is in control of his destiny. Independent self-starters, Sigma guys. They rarely hold positions below those of executive and management levels. They are very reflective people who have a sixth instinct for inefficiencies and a talent for dissecting procedures into genuinely doable stages. The extremely ambitious nature of the Sigma male should be obvious. Even though he may not always have the biggest voice in the room, he nevertheless stands by his beliefs and ideals. As such, the Sigma male doesn't conform to structure and tries to create a lifestyle that best suits his personality. His rebellious proclivity shines through here, whether it's in his work, his creativity, or his relationships. He pursues all these things without adhering to rigid structures and establishes systems that are more complementary of his goals and skills. The majority of entrepreneurs are Sigma male personalities. This recurring dominant trait from Sigma males pushes them to assert their position, take a stand, and build something for themselves instead of working for someone else. Sigma males are fiercely confident individuals who will stop at nothing to get what they want and transform their reality into what they want it to be. It's difficult to comprehend him. One of the most challenging personality types to comprehend is the Sigma male personality. It's challenging to describe his choices and conduct because they don't fit into our binary concept of what it means to be dominant or submissive. After all, he is neither beta nor alpha but unique in his way. One of the most challenging aspects of dating a Sigma man is that he is not a very talkative person. His knack for problem solving tends to come first, which may not always be what you need emotionally. Combining this with their disinterest in playing by traditional societal expectations, Sigma males can come across as robotic, unfeeling partners. This could not be farther from the truth. Sigma males are among the best partners out there precisely because they're highly self-aware. He's challenging to comprehend. One of the most challenging personality types to comprehend is the Sigma male personality. It is challenging to describe his choices and conduct because they don't fit into our binary concept of what it means to be dominant or submissive. He is neither beta nor alpha, but rather singular in his way. Because he is not a talkative guy, dating a Sigma man can be challenging. No one else lives by the motto action speaks louder than words better than a Sigma male. He could be an alpha if he wanted. By their very nature, alpha males want you to know that they're alpha males. They live by structures and fall into the archetype of what it means to be a strong man with leadership qualities. The Sigma male couldn't care less. He possesses the same relentlessness, ruthlessness, and cunning as an alpha male but isn't interested in projecting that onto his peers. Male members of the Sigma fraternity place greater value on actions than words when it comes to exhibiting their skills and abilities. He just knows that he is significant. He doesn't need titles or to be the focus of attention to feel that way. Sigma males can operate quietly in the background without continuously asserting their leadership, thanks to their sense of security and self-assurance. They frequently like taking on a variety of roles within a team, and no task is ever perceived as being too minor by them. When it comes to projects, their ego comes last. The most important thing is that the job gets done. If you ever come across an unassuming, intelligent man, don't make the mistake of thinking he's a beta. He might just be a dominant introvert in disguise, happily waiting for the right time to shine. Nothing can be dictated to him, not even what to do. Some stubbornness goes hand in hand with feeling secure and fixated on who you are. Sigma males have a very clear idea of the things they like and don't like since they are comfortable with who they are as individuals. Because of this, it could be challenging to persuade a Sigma guy to see the other side of things. This may irritate Sigma male partners who merely want to improve their life. Make use of his pragmatic side and discuss the advantages of doing things a certain way rather than pressuring him to do things your way. Sigma males can be dead set on who they are as people but are at the same time open to adopting when proven wrong. Take him to a restaurant he'd never go to. Present an argument about an opinion he never would have considered. Introduce a new shirt that he wouldn't have picked for himself. Sigma males may be stuck in their ways but will be more than happy to enrich their lives and their personality, as long as you help them ease into it. The key to keeping a Sigma man content: Sigma males are complex, but not as complex as they appear to be. Despite their incredible intelligence, dealing with them isn't difficult. Independence, intelligence, and sincerity are their primary needs. You are already supporting the Sigma guy in your life as long as you give him the room he needs to think, feel, and be who he is. New World Hierarchy. There's no shortage of opportunities for Sigma males to make a difference in the world, but alone they don't amount to much. They are starting to realize that the hierarchies that exist might be broken, but new ones can be created. They'll create them and are strong enough to yield the backlash that might arise from such change. So the next time you find yourself in the presence of a Sigma male, don't ostracize him for his choices. Be curious about what his plans are to make the world a better place. Find out what kind of tribe he hopes to build and belong to if the one he left didn't serve him. Sigma males will rise to the top of a new hierarchy, but it will be of their own making and design.